The prophecy of Babylon, often derived from biblical texts, especially from the book of Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Revelation, contains multiple layers of meanings that have been interpreted in various ways over the centuries. Here are 25 hidden meanings commonly associated with the prophecy of Babylon. 1. Judgment against idolatry. Babylon symbolizes the ultimate judgment against idolatry and false gods, representing a society consumed by false beliefs. 2. Human pride and hubris. The fall of Babylon is seen as a warning against excessive pride and arrogance, illustrating the downfall of powerful empires that exalt themselves. 3. Moral and spiritual decay. Babylon is often depicted as a city of great moral and spiritual decay, highlighting the consequences of turning away from righteous living. 4. Political corruption. The prophecy points to the corruption within political systems, where leaders become tyrannical and unjust. 5. Economic exploitation. Babylon represents economic exploitation and the oppression of the poor by the wealthy and powerful. 6. Divine retribution. The fall of Babylon signifies divine retribution and the inevitable consequences of sin and corruption. 7. Symbol of worldly power. Babylon stands for worldly power and wealth that ultimately cannot stand against divine judgment. 8. Exile and punishment. The captivity of the Israelites in Babylon is seen as punishment for their own unfaithfulness to God. 9. Hope for restoration. Despite the doom, the prophecy also contains hope for the eventual restoration and redemption of God's people. 10. End times prophecy. In the book of Revelation, Babylon represents the end-time city of sin and the ultimate battle between good and evil. 11. Impermanence of earthly kingdoms. Babylon's fall symbolizes the impermanence of all earthly kingdoms and the eternal nature of God's kingdom. 12. False religion. Babylon is often equated with false religion and spiritual adultery, warning against syncretism and compromise of true faith. 13. Warning to future generations. The prophecy serves as a timeless warning to future generations about the dangers of deviating from divine commandments. 14. God's sovereignty. It illustrates God's sovereignty and control over the fate of nations, emphasizing that no power is beyond his reach. 15. Prophetic fulfillment. The historical fall of Babylon serves as a confirmation of the accuracy and truth of biblical prophecy. 16. Cultural assimilation. Babylon represents the threat of cultural assimilation and the loss of identity for God's people in a foreign land. 17. Call to repentance. The prophecy is a call to repentance and return to God, urging individuals and nations to seek forgiveness. 18. Eschatological symbol. In eschatology, Babylon often symbolizes the ultimate battle between good and evil, leading to the final victory of God. 19. Oppression and liberation. The prophecy reflects themes of oppression and the hope of liberation, paralleling the experiences of the Israelites. 20. Economic collapse. Babylon's fall is a metaphor for economic collapse and the instability of relying solely on material wealth. 21. Spiritual warfare. The prophecy can be seen as a depiction of spiritual warfare, with Babylon representing the forces of darkness. 22. Divine justice. It emphasizes divine justice, where wrongdoings are eventually righted by God's judgment. 23. Historical allegory. Babylon serves as an allegory for other historical empires and powers that have risen and fallen due to similar sins and hubris. 24. Symbol of temptation. Babylon is a symbol of worldly temptations and distractions that lead people away from their spiritual path. 25. Redemption and deliverance. Ultimately, the prophecy of Babylon points to the theme of redemption and deliverance for those who remain faithful to God. These interpretations reflect the rich and multifaceted nature of the prophecy of Babylon, encompassing themes of judgment, hope, divine sovereignty, and the ultimate triumph of good over evil.